Celebrities don't just sell you movies and music, they sell you food. But behind the flashing lights and famous names are restaurants serving $17 frozen burgers, $50 burnt steaks, and chicken so unsafe it could land you in the hospital. Gordon Ramsay's own spot shut down after customers called it bad everything. Planet Hollywood went bankrupt. Kid Rock's steakhouse literally couldn't cook after ICE raids sent the entire kitchen staff home. These aren't just bad meals, they're multi-million-dollar scams. Today we're exposing 7 celebrity restaurants you should never eat at, because behind the star power are some of the worst meals money can buy. Starting with number 7, Wahlburgers. Mark Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg sold you the Boston tough guy story. Working-class hero who never forgot his roots. Family values wrapped in a Patriots jersey. So when he opened Wahlburgers with his brothers, it felt like comfort food from people who understood what it meant to stretch a dollar for a decent meal. Wahlburgers now operates over 24 locations across the United States and Canada, serving hundreds of thousands of customers who trusted the Wahlberg name. They even got their own TV show, making it seem like America's favorite family business. But the cameras never showed what paying customers were actually experiencing. Recent reviews from Las Vegas reveal the ugly truth. Terrible location and bad service. The food was bad to mediocre and overpriced. Along with my cheeseburger, I ordered a side salad that was $9 with just bagged lettuce, which was brown, tomatoes, and red onion. Brown lettuce for $9. That's not a mistake, that's contempt for your customers. Think about that. Frozen patties at a restaurant charging $17 for burgers. This isn't fast food honesty. This is premium pricing for bottom-shelf ingredients. Customers reported food that came out really fast, which makes us think it was pre-made and just sitting under a heat lamp. However, what makes this personal is that the Wahlbergs built their brand on authenticity. They shared stories about Sunday dinners, family recipes, and staying true to their neighborhood. Meanwhile, they're serving you microwaved burgers that cost more than a sit-down meal at any regular restaurant. Number 6. Planet Hollywood. Bruce Willis and Sylvester Stallone. You remember the commercials. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Bruce Willis, Sylvester Stallone. Action heroes promising you could dine where the stars do. Planet Hollywood opened in 1991 with these actors as investors and promoters, turning dinner into a movie experience surrounded by authentic Hollywood memorabilia. But nostalgia doesn't age well when it's rotting from the inside. In April 2025, Planet Hollywood filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy and permanently closed their LAX location, leaving only 3 locations remaining from what was once a 60-location empire. The remaining locations tell the story of a brand in free fall. Recent reviews describe food that tastes like the generic Disney food and compare it to Applebee's, except Applebee's doesn't charge you $35 for appetizers. Customers complain that the music is so loud and there are so many celebrations constantly interrupting your meal. At the Times Square location, there are only 2 bathrooms for a large restaurant that seats hundreds of people. Think about that math during a dinner rush. But the real scam is what happened to the movie memorabilia that made Planet Hollywood famous. All the movie/music memorabilia is upstairs, and you have to ask for an escort/permission to see it all. The dining room is very plain with just a large screen. You're paying Hollywood prices for a sports bar experience. Restaurant surveys consistently rank Planet Hollywood as the least liked restaurant in Walt Disney World. And that's in a park known for overpriced tourist food. When Disney tourists think you're ripping them off, you've hit rock bottom. Number 5. Gordon Ramsay. Hell's Kitchen. Gordon Ramsay. Gordon Ramsay built his empire screaming at other chefs for serving garbage food in dirty kitchens. He's the guy who shuts down restaurants for health violations, throws raw chicken at incompetent cooks, and delivers reality checks that have saved hundreds of failing establishments. So when he opened Hell's Kitchen in Las Vegas, you'd expect perfection, or at least food that wouldn't get him arrested on his own show. Hell's Kitchen Las Vegas features a red and blue kitchen, along with a massive dining area that seats over 300 people, designed to recreate the TV show experience. Customers pay premium prices to eat where Gordon Ramsay supposedly ensures every dish meets his brutal standards. But Hell's Kitchen proves that Ramsay's standards disappear when his name is on the check instead of the criticism. Burnt short ribs from Gordon Ramsay. The same chef who screams, "It's raw," is serving burnt meat to customers paying $50 per entree. Another customer complained about a $26 burger that fell flat and advised people to save your money. Go to a fast food restaurant. Meanwhile, Ramsay's street burger location in London shut down in early 2025 after months of complaints about bad taste, bad service, bad size, bad price, bad everything. The final review was titled "Bad, Bad, 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 Bad," with customers demanding, "Gordon, you need to get down there and sort this restaurant out." Think about the irony. Gordon Ramsay has made millions fixing other people's restaurant disasters. But when it's his money and his reputation, he serves the same garbage food he'd shut down any other restaurant for preparing. Number 4. Nobu, Robert De Niro. Robert De Niro became a legend playing tough guys who demanded respect and delivered consequences when they didn't get it. When he partnered with chef Nobu Matsuhisa to create the Nobu restaurant empire, it seemed like a perfect match. Hollywood prestige meets authentic Japanese cuisine. Nobu now operates over 50 locations worldwide, building a reputation as the sushi destination for celebrities and socialites. The brand charges premium prices for what they call Nobu-style cuisine, Japanese techniques with Peruvian influences that supposedly justify charging $20 for a single piece of tuna. But behind the celebrity sightings and Instagram-worthy presentations, Nobu customers are getting scammed in ways that would make Tony Soprano proud. Critics note that it's hard to go to Nobu without comparing it to other sushi restaurants, and in that regard, Nobu begins to feel dated. The offerings on the sushi menu are much more standard than you'd expect, which makes the decision to charge so much for nigiri even more ridiculous. However, what makes Nobu's failure particularly cruel is that they're charging luxury prices to people celebrating special occasions. These aren't tourists getting ripped off. These are people spending their savings on anniversary dinners, birthday celebrations, once-in-a-lifetime meals. Nobu takes their money, serves them mediocre sushi at 5 times the price of better restaurants, and treats them like they should be grateful for the privilege. Robert De Niro spent his career playing characters who had principles. His restaurants prove he left those principles on movie sets. Number 3. Big Chicken, Shaquille O'Neal. Shaquille O'Neal was the gentle giant of basketball. 7 feet of dominance on the court, but always time for kids, always ready with a smile. When he launched Big Chicken, it felt like Shaq sharing his love of comfort food with America. Fun branding, reasonable prices, the promise that bigger really was better. Big Chicken operates locations in 17 states, serving millions of customers who trust the Shaq brand. The restaurants position themselves as premium fast casual, charging more than KFC, but promising better quality and that signature Shaq personality. But customers are discovering that Shaq's restaurants serve chicken that would get him ejected from his own establishment. Multiple locations have become magnets for 1-star reviews, with customers calling it, by far the worst chicken I have ever had. The prices make the poor quality even more insulting. You're paying premium fast casual costs for food that can't compete with gas station fried chicken. And unlike traditional fast food, Big Chicken's problems can't be explained by ultra-low prices or rock-bottom expectations. Here's what makes this betrayal particularly personal. Shaq built his post-basketball brand on being authentic, approachable, and fun. He was the celebrity who never forgot his fans, who would take selfies with kids, who represented success without arrogance. Big Chicken was supposed to be Shaq sharing something he genuinely loved, but instead of serving up the love and authenticity fans expected, Shaq's Big Chicken delivers the biggest brick since his free throws, proving even legends can miss the mark when it comes to food. Number 2. Chicken plus beer, Ludacris. Ludacris conquered hip-hop in the early 2000s with witty lyrics and infectious energy. He seemed like the rapper who stayed grounded, who remembered where he came from. When he opened Chicken Plus Beer at Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport, it felt like Luda bringing Southern comfort food to travelers who needed something real in a world of overpriced airport garbage. The restaurant opened in November 2016 with chef Andrew Tabb, promising to serve quality fried chicken and craft beer to millions of travelers passing through one of the world's busiest airports. The concept seemed perfect, comfort food from a beloved Atlanta artist in Atlanta's most high-traffic location. But travelers discovered that Ludacris was serving them food that made airport pizza look gourmet. The LAX location has become a disaster zone of customer complaints. Reviews consistently describe overpriced, terrible food served by staff who seem actively hostile to customers. $120 for cold waffles and mushy chicken at an airport where people are already stressed, running late, and paying inflated prices for everything. The slow service makes airport dining even more nightmarish. When you've got a connecting flight and limited time, waiting 45 minutes for cold food isn't just disappointing, it's potentially trip-ruining. While the Atlanta location receives decent reviews averaging about 4 out of 5 stars, The LAX experience shows what happens when celebrity restaurateurs export their concepts without maintaining oversight. The name gets licensed, the quality disappears, and customers pay the price. Number 1. Kid Rock's big-ass honky-tonk and rock and roll steakhouse. Kid Rock. Kid Rock built his career on being the ultimate American badass. Detroit rock meets country soul, wrapped in American flags and endless attitude. When he opened his massive honky-tonk in Nashville, it seemed like Kid Rock was bringing authentic rock and roll energy to Music City's tourist strip. The restaurant dominates Lower Broadway with multiple floors, live music, and the promise of rock star dining in the heart of country music. For tourists visiting Nashville, Kid Rock's place feels like a must-visit destination. Where else can you eat barbecue while surrounded by genuine rock memorabilia? But customers discovered that Kid Rock's restaurant serves food that would get him booed off any stage in America. BuzzFeed community members consistently rate it as, by far, the worst celebrity-run restaurant in Nashville. That's not just harsh criticism, that's a consensus among people who've actually eaten there. But the real scandal emerged in 2025 when the restaurant made national headlines for all the wrong reasons. During a busy Saturday night service, non-citizen employees at 3 restaurants owned by Nashville businessman Steve Smith were told to leave, including Kid Rock's big-ass honky-tonk rock and roll steakhouse, due to fears of an ICE raid. The restaurant was so dependent on underpaid, vulnerable workers that removing them shut down the kitchen entirely. The restaurant was previously in the headlines in 2020 after being cited for failing to comply with COVID guidelines, proving this wasn't an isolated incident, but part of a pattern of disregarding rules that protect employees and customers alike. Kid Rock spent his career singing about American values and working-class pride. His restaurant exploits working-class employees while serving overpriced garbage to working-class customers who save money to visit Nashville. What's your experience? Have you ever been to any of these restaurants? Drop your stories in the comments below and hit that subscribe button before you leave.